Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories like these. Now, let's get into today's story video. My ex-girlfriend, 31, cheated on me, 27 male, with one of her customers, Hollywood actor. My ex-girlfriend, 31, cheated on me, 27 male, with one of her clients, and now she's begging me to take her back 7 months later. She's pleading, weeping, and exhibiting a lot of sorrow, which is unusual for her. Should I give her a chance? For over 2 years, I dated my ex-girlfriend. I felt we had a nice connection and were moving forward as a couple. She was continually telling me how much she loved me, and I loved her too, of course. I was under the impression that we were progressively working our way toward marriage. We all got a dog together. My profession is that of a personal trainer and fitness instructor, while hers is that of an assistant manager at a Pete's coffee store. We shared a one-bedroom apartment in a good section of town. My ex-girlfriend eventually informed me, in a conversation that stunned me, that she was in love with someone else and would be leaving me. One of her coffee shop regulars is a reasonably well-known but still C-list actor, and she had been meeting him behind my back. This really caught me off guard. I believed it was very unjust of her to end our 2-year relationship in such a manner. However, since I'm not an aggressive or emotional person, I accepted her choice. I was somewhat offended, but I didn't say anything since she decided to deliver me this news in a public restaurant, as if I would turn violent in private. I said no to her arrogant request that I pack up all her belongings and ship them, supposedly at my cost, to what was claimed to be her new location. She also made no mention of the dog we share. All I did was inform her that I was going to take everything she had out of our closet and anything else she had, which wasn't much, and throw it in a large pile at the door. I informed her that if she didn't want to keep paying rent, she'd have to give up her key on the 1st of the month. She was still on our apartment lease, and would be for another 4 months, but it didn't matter to her. She never returned for her belongings, nor did she return the key. As a result, the landlord changed the locks at my cost, $200, since I was legally violating the conditions of our contract. My ex-girlfriend didn't have many belongings and just used mine, and despite the fact that it was a financial hardship, I elected to remain in the apartment alone and pay for everything without her participation. Her whole payment was equal to half of the rent. Everything else, such as food, internet, eating out, and so on, was mostly paid for by myself. When she didn't return for her clothing and other belongings after a week, I gave them to Goodwill. Of course, I was disappointed, and I was melancholy for a few weeks following our split. When my boss saw that I was depressed at work, she gave me a paid 2-week absence. She also paid for my weekend therapy sessions with a therapist. I eventually got over it and came back to work better than ever. I was interested about what my ex-girlfriend was up to, but I knew it was best not to attempt to find out, and I couldn't follow her on social media since she had blocked me everywhere. Fast forward 7 months, and I'm doing much better. I've gone on a few dates. It's not difficult to meet ladies in my career, but nothing meaningful has come of them. This was mainly my choice. I'd even got boyfriend status with a lady 29. I met at a concert, but we split up after a few months. I'm still friends with her, and we're okay when we run into one another, which is often. I've realized that I still miss my life with my ex in many respects. So, out of nowhere, my ex begins contacting me on Facebook, so I presume she unblocked me now, about how much she misses me and wishes she could hear my voice, about how she made a mistake and was just perplexed. She went on to talk about a number of our common recollections. In reality, I miss her, but I'm not sure why she's even attempting to contact me again. When we were together, I appreciated the fact that she was a strong and independent person in many aspects, even though she didn't pay for half of our common expenditures when we lived together. She proceeded to beg and implore me to see her, saying she was on her knees, pleading for another chance, that she'd never screw up again, that she was sorry and an idiot, and that she would behave from now on. This all occurred yesterday night, and I have yet to respond to her. She sent me a few more messages today, all of which are variations on the same theme. She's sorry, she's begging me on her hands and knees and so on. She also says she understands if we can't be a relationship, but she needs me as a friend in her life since she's sorry she tossed me away. She also suggests that I allow her back into my life so she may see our dog. I guess he's simply my dog now, but I'm not sure. It's simply so out of character for her to be so vulnerable and pleading with me. Could this imply that she really regrets her actions? Should I give her a second chance? Update. Thank you for your excellent suggestions on my initial article, which is linked above. I was debating whether to respond to my ex-message's girlfriends on Facebook in my phone, but I haven't banned her on either. I kept her alive on Facebook because I want to keep an eye on her if she begins criticizing me in front of others we both know and spreads falsehoods. Then I'll be able to proudly display my screenshots of all her Facebook rants from the last 2 days, in which she apologizes for treating me like garbage, begs me, and everything. I stored them on my hard disk but also sent them to many webmail addresses as a backup. For the time being, I'm not blocking her on my phone. Every few texts she sends, I screen record the photographs and email them to myself at 2 separate email addresses, so that if she ever does anything nefarious, I'll have some proof in my pocket even if I lose my phone. Also, I'm not banning her for the time being since, to be honest, I'm looking at my computer and phone screen in awe at her messages. I'm madly in love with you. I couldn't live without you. I'm not sure I can go on like this. I'm considering injuring myself. Him, why don't you abandon yourself for the canceled sitcom star from the early 2000s? This is my favorite image of us, a trip to New York that I financed for entirely on my own. I really hope we could go again. You were correct the whole time, but I didn't pay attention. I just don't want to live any longer. I'd want to die right now. Don't leave me to die alone. What can I do to persuade you to give me a second chance? I'm willing to do anything. I'll give you all of my money and all of my hair. Anything. Please, please, my name, contact me. God. I despise you so much. How could you have allowed me to become so pitiful? Please leave me something. You technically have to let me come over since you have all of my belongings. You're a robber if you're keeping me from my old clothing, shoes, and handbags, and that coffee maker is mine. I have the right to come over if I'm on the lease. You aren't, and no, you don't. I'm going to call the cops and have them break down the doors, so I can collect mine. Describes a specific outfit that I don't recall since I gave it away a long time ago. For the love of God, my name, for the love of God, we're adults. Don't treat me like a kid. You're behaving like you're 5 years old. I miss you so much. I was for attempting to leave you. He was harsh and condescending to me. He wasn't at all like you. I immediately regretted leaving. You're my life's love. I made a mistake. Do we not all make mistakes? You remember the last time you kissed your boss. In some ways, you were the first to cheat, yet I forgive you. FYI, at our business Christmas party, I kissed my married, much older boss on the cheek in front of her spouse in appreciation for giving me a gift. I told this occurrence to my ex a long time ago, and she regarded it as sweet at the time, but she's changed her mind. No one can make me climax as hard as you. I need your assistance. Lol, must is why you cheated on me and abandoned me. I apologize for the hurtful things I uttered. I apologize for everything. I'm simply so depressed right now, and I really need you. I know I don't deserve you since I've always been a jerk to you, but you've always been better than me. Even though I'm nearly 5 years older, you're more mature than me. I relied on you and then abandoned you because I was selfish and reckless. But I've evolved. I promise to you, sweetheart, I've changed. Please give me a second opportunity. I'll confess that the previous one was a touch manipulative, and it weakened me a little, but then I recalled how she abandoned me without a second thought the minute she thought she'd upgraded. So, no thank you. It's a beautiful day, and I have 3 meetings with young, single ladies who routinely flirt with me, but I've always been too professional to reply. Perhaps it's time to quit living in the past and start appreciating the benefits of my profession. BTW, I warned my landlord and neighbors that if my ex comes here, she is not welcome and that they should phone the cops if they can. The landlord's sole criticism was that my ex was a slacker and that I was more than just a lovely face. He also informed me that she had the audacity to put him as a reference on a couple rental applications in recent months, and he told the screeners the truth. Abandoned lease, irresponsible, not recommended. Lol. Thank you very much, Red.